Hey free-to-play gang, welcome back to another Temporal Tower video. Today we're going to take a look at the 30th floor. And of course, if you have yet to complete a Temporal Tower, then this is going to be a little bit more relevant to you. But I'm pretty sure most of you guys have already beaten this by now. So this stage is not exactly super difficult in my opinion, because the temporal disturbance here is just erosion, which decreases healing efficacy. So it doesn't actually reduce your healing down to 0. I think it just halves it. So you can definitely survive through this even if you're focusing on heals as well. Now do take note that for erosion, your HP scaling heals will also be halved, and even your lifesteal effects will be halved as well. Now one thing I need to address is I am so sorry that I've already pre-recorded all these runs, and the teams that I bring into this stage could be very premium. However, do take note that I'm not actually trying to clear this with the espers that I have. In fact, I'm just using the idea behind each of the espers. So I do understand that some of you guys may not have the espers that I do have. However, I will always recommend certain cheaper alternatives who may even function a little bit better than what I have right now. Also, if you do find this video helpful and you'd like to see more Temporal Tower clearing videos, then do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, as subscribing is free and you can always change your mind afterwards. And of course, it is a great way to show me that you appreciate the content and you want to see more of it. But with that out of the way, let's get on with the run. So the team I'm using here is Gabrielle, Tang Yun, Heng Yue, Jin Yu Yao, and Tricky. Now for this floor, there is really no real threat, I think, except for Biondina. Now height could be a problem, especially with Su Hua constantly healing him. However, do take note that height cannot actually be buffed. So it might actually be a really good idea to aim for height first, because Su Hua can only heal him and she cannot actually grant him an invincibility buff. So you can just go ahead and burst him down with DPS. And now the reason why I'm using Tang Yun here instead of the usual sender is because his typing works really well for this stage. So he is neutral or at least positively attuned to the other espers over here, which makes him a very good DPS. Now I know I said aim for height first, but I'm going for the Su Hua. And the reason is because I'm trying to stun lock everyone. So my priority is always to make sure that the enemies are stunned before going after my priority target. Now with that said, would you necessarily need Jin Yu Yao and Tricky over here? The answer is absolutely no. In fact, I think a lot of other espers out there are a lot better than the espers that I'm bringing here. So for example, you already have a Lucas, so Lucas is going to be so much better. And if you have a Longmian or a Pritzker, they are going to be even better. And of course, there are free-to-play options like Jeanne. I always talk about Jeanne, and I have to mention her again every single Temporal Tower run. But yeah, I guess in the future videos, I will definitely use a team that makes a little bit more sense and is slightly more attainable for you guys. So maybe next time I'll be running with like Longmian and Pritzker, and I'll show you just how powerful they are and how the team they're running with right now is just completely outclassed. But the idea is still the same, just make sure that all of your targets are stunned. And obviously for this floor, it's a little bit easier in the sense that you can't stun Biondina and you can't stun Hyde. So it's a little bit easier to stun lock the other espers that are left. Right, so if you're going through this on your own, I would highly suggest that you aim for Hyde first. And once he is done, then aim for Biondina, because these are the two espers that cannot be stun locked. So the thing is, as long as you can stun lock your prime targets, then you should be fine. And this floor is definitely the easiest among all the boss stages of the current main rotation. Now, if you're finding trouble dealing with the height, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are, so I received a lot of comments regarding like Spatial Tower 87 and 98, I think. And I know there is another floor with like 3 heights, right? I can't recall the exact floor. So I realized that a lot of you guys have trouble with the floors, especially if they include height. Now, dealing with height is actually really simple. Okay, so he cannot be debuffed, but he cannot be buffed at the same time. So that's something that you can keep in mind. Now, if the floor has a height with a Cecilia, what you can do is to just take out height first and then take out Cecilia. Now by doing so, Hyde will then revive, right? But he will not actually gain the shield buff that Cecilia grants to her allies upon taking Fatality. So Hyde would actually be left wide in the open, and it's extremely easy to take him out after that. Now for the other floors with different formations, what I can suggest to you is to use a Luo Yan. Now even though Hyde is immune to all debuffs, he is not immune to 2 things. Firstly, he is not immune to HP cap reduction, and secondly, he's also not immune to AP controls. So the first way is to reduce his HP cap using either another height or using a Luo Yan. And you can potentially lower his max HP cap down to 50%. So even if he has 50 stacks and you kill him, he will only revive with 25% HP, and he's gonna be so much easier to deal with. And another way, of course, is to just AP control. You can use Sender, you can use a lot of different kinds of espers, to be honest. So like Ira is a really good choice as well. Ira is extremely good for a Temporal Tower and a Spatial Tower. And if you have Lucas, Lucas is going to be super important here as well. Lucas can perpetually stun lock the target by lowering his AP by 45% every time Lucas takes a turn. So if you run Lucas on manual, you can constantly absorb AP like that, and you can basically just 1v1 a height no problem. And yes, I do realize that for this run, I've actually done the worst thing that I could do imaginable. So I actually took out everyone else, and then Biondina, and then the height. So I have no idea what I was doing over here, but thinking back, I will not do this the same way. So I guess we all live and learn, right? And now because of this huge mistake, their height is just incredibly overpowered. And this could be my downfall. However, because my relics are good enough, I guess, I'm able to power through this, no problem. But I think for most of you guys, don't watch this video, just listen to what I'm trying to say. And hopefully this way you understand how to deal with this particular flaw. But let's say you don't have a Loyan, or let's say you don't have any AP controllers, which is a lie, you can always have access to Melanie. But let's say that is the case, right? What you can do is to use Tang Yun. I think he is an extremely good DPS against height, because he has the potential to even just one-shot height entirely. And the thing is, if you're not running Tang Yun on an Ocean Waves build like me, and instead you're running him with a DPS build, you can definitely one-shot this height very easily. So there you go, that's it for Temporal Tower Floor 30. Congratulations, you have 2 more gold records. However, if you want to see the stats of my Espers, I should refer you to my previous Temporal Tower video. I will link it at the top of this video so that it's easier for you to access, and you should find it at the end of the video. Now with that said, hope you guys found this video helpful. If it was, don't forget to leave a thumbs up, it really helps the channel, and subscribe for more Dislyte content. Now this has been Daddy Free to Play, and as always, I will see you in the next video.